Welcome back to another episode. Happy Friday, everyone. It's almost the weekend. On today's episode, we're going to talk about why it's time for the San Francisco Giants to trade an outfielder. I've been seeing a lot of reports, whether it's from beat writers, from other shows, from people making roster projections. No matter where the source is on this, it seems like there's, especially from people that cover the Giants, there's an acceptance and almost trying to make justifications of the fact that Luis Matos is likely going to get snubbed from the roster. And, it's understandable from the sense of it's a numbers game. We all understand that there just simply is not that roster spot because as of right now, and as I've talked about on previous episodes, 12 of the spots are basically taken, and the only one that's really up for grabs at this point is going to be that utility spot, and that person needs to be able to back up shortstop and second base. So that's looking more likely to be a guy like Tyler Fitzgerald taking that last spot. However, there is a very easy solution to this to get Luis Matos on the roster, and that is simply to trade one of the three mid-level outfielders that is blocking him. And there are reasons to keep any of the three, and I'm, of course, referring to Michael Conforto, Austin Slater, and Mike Yastrzemski. There's an argument for each guy individually. And I understand why it's easy to be like, well, we can't trade Austin Slater because he crushes lefties, and we can't trade Mike Yastrzemski because he's a great defender at all three spots, and he has good pop, and he does all the he's great against right-handed pitching, and we can't trade Conforto because he's got huge upside, and you could, like I said, you can make an excuse for any of these three guys, but the reality is that good teams in the major leagues don't block their top young guys that are forcing the issue, that are proving they're ready to play in the majors. They don't block them with not one, not two, but three middle of the road outfielders. And the way the Giants are treating this so far, now there's 2 weeks. Farhan could trade someone. I'm not going to sit here and go off on Farhan yet. I will save that for opening day if Luis Matos is left off the roster. But the way they're treating it so far is, he has an option, these guys don't, and we're scared to impact our depth, and we're scared that if somebody gets hurt or struggles, and you can't as an organization operate out of fear. You need to get your best 26 on the active roster. So whether that means tapping in a little bit to that depth in order to get the guy that's kind of proving that he belongs and he deserves the shot and he is earning the shot, and not treating him like a, break glass in case of emergency player. You got to make the difficult decisions. And this mindset of, well, we'll just wait for an injury is a broken mindset. When you treat a player like that, that's how you end up with Elliot Ramos getting 79 or 81 plate appearances over 5 or 6 call-ups. Like, we're going to really say we're going to try and evaluate Luis Matos in 15-minute intervals or 15-day intervals every time Mike Yastrzemski pulls a hammy. Like, I'm sorry, that's a loser mentality in my brain. Like, I just, that is so backwards way of thinking that we're going to get a real evaluation because we have a bunch of injury prone outfielders, but most of them don't suffer major injuries that cost them to be out for months at a time. Our evaluation is going to turn into 15-day evaluations where he's going to get inconsistent playing time because we've all seen this before. So it's time to make a move. Now, you can make an argument for any of them to be the guy to move. Michael Conforto makes a ton of sense. He's going to be the starting left fielder. He's the everyday left fielder. He would be the easiest one to probably, justify in the sense that moving him and getting, he's not a great defender. Like there's a lot of ways you can look at it that makes sense. It would clear some money. Then you can maybe try and turn around and get one of those starting pitchers and stay relatively below the CBT or right around that where it's minimal penalties. Um, you could make the argument for Mike Yastrzemski. He's pretty injury prone. Um, Moving him allows you to keep Austin Slater and have that extra right-handed bench piece. You can make the argument for Austin Slater, where, as I've talked about in the past, Luis Matos provides or proved last season he can do a lot of what Austin Slater already does. Luis Matos had an 825 OPS versus left-handed pitching. Austin Slater had an 800 OPS versus left-handed pitching in 2023. Luis Matos had a 135 WRC plus against left-handed pitching last season, meaning he was 35% better than league average. Austin Slater had a 123 WRC plus, meaning he was only 23% better than league average against left-handed pitching. So, and that was as a 21-year-old, where Luis Matos had not added 14 pounds of muscle yet. He was clearly lacking the strength he needed, and he still performed at, at least Austin Slater levels against left-handed pitching. So there's a very easy argument for moving a guy like Austin Slater. Now, any of them would allow Luis Matos to potentially take an everyday job, because if you move Conforto, it's pretty simple. You just move Matos into left field and start him every day. If you want to move Mike Yastrzemski, you could actually kick Austin Slater into more of a platoon with Michael Conforto, who for 2 straight years has had that he's played, because he missed 2022. So 2021, 2023, his last 2 seasons, he's had a sub 600 OPS against left-handed pitching. There's a case that can be made that Michael Conforto is a platoon player that's just not being platooned right now. So you could kick Slater into a platoon with him and move Yaz. Or probably what would be my preference is you trade Austin Slater. He's only making $4 million. He's probably the easiest player to move. You can put Matos in, play Matos every day in right field, turn Mike Yastrzemski into your 4th outfielder, which I've said for a while, I think he's an ideal 4th outfielder. His body is already showing that he can't hold up for the full season. It's been several years in a row now of a bunch of nagging injuries for him. Make him a 4th outfielder. Give him 2 starts a week. He'll give Matos a day off, and he'll give Conforto a day off, and he'll probably give Lee the occasional day off. So he'll get a couple starts a week. He'll be one of the first guys off the bench as a pinch hitter option. His ability to play all 3 outfield positions at a plus level is valuable. So you can keep Yaz as a 4th outfielder. Let Matos play every day. And the beautiful thing about that is, if Matos struggles a lot and shows after half the season, you're like, he's not a everyday player. He still hits lefties. You can put him back into a platoon for the second half if you really have to. But at some point, teams need to take a leap of faith. And this is a moment for the Giants where they could take a leap of faith for a guy that could genuinely be kind of a lightning rod for this team. And when I say that, it's because my belief is Luis Matos, and I've used this comparison, and I'm actually going to dive deeper into this right now, that Luis Matos could be a Freddie Sanchez type player. And I'm talking about the peak Freddie Sanchez, the guy that was an all-star in Pittsburgh, had 2 pretty incredible years in a row in 2006 and 2007 that we're going to talk about. And just with more pop than what Freddie Sanchez provided back then. So now looking at this, and then I'm also going to have a couple of videos that I'm going to be putting up on the screen here in a moment that are going to kind of talk about what I've been seeing. But Freddie Sanchez for 2 years in 2006 and 2007. Now, I don't expect Luis Matos to hit for this kind of average. Sanchez hit 344 and won the batting title in 2006, and he hit 304 in 07. So, I think that 304, that's probably the best. I think that's kind of what we're hoping for out of Matos. He's got that elite bat to ball skills. I could see him being a 300 hitter at some point, but I do think he's going to have a little bit more pop than what Sanchez provided. But a lot of people worry about the home runs. I don't. Sanchez in those 2 years hit 17 home runs combined. He hit 6 in 06, and he hit 11 in 2007. I do think Matos is going to peak as probably a 15 to 20 home run guy tops. Um, I've seen people thinking that he can hit 30. I'm just trying to keep it real. I don't see that happening. If he does, I would love to be wrong, because if he turned into that kind of guy, he's probably an ideal number 3 hitter in this lineup, and that changes everything. But I don't expect that. But what I do think is, in 2006 and 2007, Freddie Sanchez was an absolute doubles machine. He hit 53 doubles in 2006, and he had another 42 in 2007. So he averaged over 47 doubles over a 2-year stretch. And now, do I expect Matos hit average over 45 doubles a year? No, I don't. But I could see him being a 35 to 40 double a year guy with 15 home runs to go with that, and being a 50 plus extra base hit a year guy. And that's where I say I think he can be kind of a peak Freddie Sanchez type player, just with more pop. And now some of the examples that I'm going to be posting up here is, you can tell looking at some of the videos coming out of spring training, the ball is jumping off his bat significantly harder than it did at pretty much any point last season. He has been making the most consistently loud contact in spring training so far. You take a look at his spring training numbers, and I don't put a whole lot of weight in the numbers, but I do put weight in, how it looks. And so far in spring training, he's had 35 plate appearances. He's walked 3 times, I believe. Yeah, let me pull that up. Sorry, 2 walks, and he got hit by a pitch the other day, and he has a sacrifice in there. 2 hit by pitches, 2 walks. That's how he got. And he has 31 at bats. He has 9 hits, 5 have been doubles, and 3 have been home runs. And these haven't been cheapies. Like, these are, I'm going to post the video to my right, and he's been hitting balls that are blistered and splitting the gap that last season they simply died in the outfield. And I'll have a couple examples of those too, where he'd hit balls that you thought, oh, that's going to be a double or a triple or whatever, and you could tell he lost a bag out of it because the ball just got eaten up by the grass. And we can make arguments about the dew on the grass and things like that, and he's in Arizona, it's dry and blah blah blah, but I mean, it's just pretty clear that the ball is jumping harder off of his bat. The home runs he's hit, all 3 that I've seen, that I saw the videos, I didn't have questions on, is that going to clear the fence in Oracle? Like, they looked like they were pretty clearly going to clear the fence in Oracle, and they're just jumping off the bat. So I think this organization needs to change its mentality a little bit, and it needs to take a risk. And this is a guy that they should be betting on. I mean, he showed last season he was not overwhelmed. We can point to the 78 WRC plus and say, he struggled, but it was clear the struggles were against right-handed pitching. He had an adjustment, and the struggles were also the fact that he just simply was not strong enough. He had so many outs get caught on the warning track. He had so many balls get caught in the gaps that hung up. He had so many balls where they got cut off in the outfield. Like, the approach was there. He had, in my opinion, the best approach on the team. The ability is clearly there. He's not overwhelmed. He wasn't overmatched. It just needed to get stronger. He has, and he is showing it right now in spring training. So tell me your guys' thoughts. If you like the content, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate it. We're creeping up on 300 subscribers. It's pretty awesome. That was my goal, to reach 300 before opening day, and it looks like we're probably going to get there pretty easily. So that's pretty amazing. Appreciate all the support from everyone. Some news, I've had to move the desk a few times, but we are actually in the process of trying to put some stuff up on the wall behind to get rid of this green screen kind of Zoom style videos that we have going right now. Bear with me. It's probably going to be at least a few more weeks, but I'm excited to get kind of some different backdrops going. So appreciate it, everyone. Hope you all have a great weekend. We'll probably record this weekend to at least talk about the spring breakout game, which is going to be today between the Giants and A's. That'll be televised. There is rain in the forecast. Hopefully it doesn't rain that game out. I wouldn't be shocked if the actual game gets rained, the spring training game gets rained out, but because the rain looks like it's in the early afternoon and the spring breakout game is until 4. So hopefully that one still goes off. I think a lot of us are excited to see um, Rainer Arias and Bryce Eldridge and Walker Martin and the other kind of laundry list of young, exciting players that are going to be there. So hope you guys all have a good one, and we'll catch you later.